Welcome to the Thescenesnobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the thescenesnobs podcast. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined by my co-host, Mr. Producer Paul himself. He gets it done, everybody. And usually you see me here by myself, but I am happy to announce that Producer Paul is getting a bit of a promotion tonight for all of his amazing work to full-on co-host.
Yes. That's news to me. I didn't know that was going to happen.
You did
I'm
not,
going to cry.
sir.
We're not going to cry.
You can cry. It's okay. I'll allow it. I will allow it. Guys, we have a great show for you planned. We have a guest coming on tonight, Mr. Troy Hill from Troy Hill Talks, and we're going to talk about the staying power of today's movies. Do they have it? I don't know. We're going to have to discuss that. Plus, we have two great movies to review, and that I can't even say that with a straight face. We're gonna review Atlas. We're gonna review Furiosa, Mad Max, Saga, and we're also going to talk about our time this weekend at Carolina Fear Fest. So let's have a good time. And I want to thank our sponsors of today's episode, Skillshare. If you guys want to learn something, Skillshare is the only way to do it. Jump on to Skillshare now and get a certain amount of percentage off that I did not look up before I started reading this. So go check it out in the description where I did write it.
It's perfect.
Who's
the mystery box?
Who's the best at reading that shit?
It could be 5%, could be 15. Find out.
Not quite sure, but we're getting there.
Perfect.
We're going to have a fun time with it, but I don't know what kind of it is. Also, if you guys would like to join up on Patreon, you can join up on one of our free tier, or help support the channel on one of our other tiers and get some of the perks that come along with it. And we want to thank our newest patron to sign up this weekend.
Yes.
Bryant Durham. And I his name is Bryant, but I prefer my T's silent. So I'm just going to call him Bryant. He's 1/4 of the Screen Amigos, and we appreciate him for joining up and, just being a supporter. Thank you. It all goes back in the channel and helps make this great. But
sure does.
Oh, and if you also want to be part of the Snob Nation, join up on the Discord. It's all about head on over and talk to us because we are fun. That's right.
And no matter what type of movie, no matter what kind of movie you want, I mean, there's so many subcategories we have set up in our Discord. So it's really easy to be like, well, I only like this. Cool. Subscribe to just that one channel within our Discord. And that's the general just to talk.
It's a wonderful testament to our amazing moderators who help out and keep it running.
Yes,
for sure. And if you see any merch you like, head on over. Actually, a lot of people really like the merch this weekend. I'm very happy about that.
Me too.
Because that means a lot to me. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I'm super excited, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
honored and excited.
Honored
honestly
feels like a lot. I'm like, did I build up the expectation so much that he should be honored? I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was funny. After last week's show, before we even got to, I was going to do this, and I was going to surprise you this weekend.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to save it because, and let's talk about it because we got something. Oh my God.
Sure
I just realized what we got. Oh, we got a couple of tattoos.
We adopted a baby, everybody. No. Little Misha. It's the most adorable 4-year-old I've ever seen.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, we did not do that. We got couples tattoos. That's the extent of it. Next up is adopting the baby.
Yep.
We got the logo on our. I got mine on our wrist. Yours, you can see yours better.
There you guys go. Got the mic.
Nice. Got our mic logo. I love it.
Same. It's my first tattoo.
Your first tattoo, man. What was that like? I mean, I got a bunch.
As no surprise, and we're working on it. I have some mental health issues. So I love that. That pain was very therapeutic to me. It was lovely. It definitely helped me get some of the, extra anxiety out for this weekend. It helped knock that out real quick. So I loved it, man. Now I'm just like, let's get more. And that artist, he was amazing. He had a soft touch. It was quick. It's like 10 minutes, nothing. And his dog Daisy just sold the whole thing. Even if he didn't sell it, Daisy picked up whatever slack there was, because Daisy was just adorable, and how she'd come up and you could pet her while you're getting a tat. And I'm so glad that he decided to come out. I'm glad that, Stephanie and Destiny brought them out for Carolina Fear Fest, and I hope that all of them agree that next year, he's able to come back out, or that he even wants to. I believe he does, but I'm looking forward to next year for sure.
I am too. And so yeah, so story time before our guest gets here. We so I never said, I always wanted the Mike tattoo, and I love tattoos. It is, you're right, it's ink therapy. It makes me feel, and it's been a long time since I got it. As soon as that pen touched my skin, I was like, I want to finish my Star Wars tattoo on my arm. I was like, I want to get my Back to the Future tattoo on there. I still want my brown coats tattoo. Like, I'm thinking about all the tattoos that I want, and like they're all geek. Casey had a really cool tattoo above his chest, like the Star Trek insignia.
Oh, okay.
And, like, that was cool. I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna do that on the chest. I'm still like, if I get one on the chest, because chest is painful.
Gotcha.
So I'm a bitch about it. But no. But like, but if I don't get if I were to get anything on my chest, it would probably be like that, because I always thought that was really cool that he had that, because it's right in the right spot, right? But I also don't want to copy somebody else doing it too.
Right. I get that.
But at the same time, I also thought about getting the our friendship, TSS friendship.
Oh, that'd be cool
on the heart. Yeah, stuff like that. But if not, I could get it anywhere else. Like, yeah. Dude, first off, I want to say, what's up, Trevor? How you doing, buddy? Thank you. I hope you're having an awesome time, too. I saw your Pam Grier movie night the other night. That was awesome. Radar. Great to see you, man. Long time no see. And then Radar. Sturdy immediately says, long time no see. We're all just together. And yeah, chest tattoos do hurt. I got a small one, and it was a tough time. My ankle tattoo was horrendously bad. That one sucked. I'm telling you, if you could call me a bitch about anything, it's that ankle tattoo. I literally was just like, this is the worst. It's the worst. Like, I was like, oh, like, it just hurts so bad. So needless to say, I'm not gonna recommend getting an ankle tattoo. You just got your first. But I want to piece them together on my arms. Like, I'm like, this is going to be all Star Wars. This will be, I want to get the my favorite sonic screwdriver here, and then I want to tie all of this in together with the scarf.
Okay.
For so that'll all be Doctor Who. I need to get something Trek, but what I think I want to do is like piece everything together on this arm, but all my geek stuff, and then just do all types of different things, and but like, definitely on my forearm, I'm gonna get the Back to the Future.
Yes, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I love tattoos, so like, now you got me excited, because you're like, and first off, I want to say thank you for saying that about mental health, because it's very important, and it's very important when you speak out about it.
Yes,
maybe it can help somebody else. So thank you for that, Paul. But yes, ink therapy is great.
I 100% understand what everyone said when they're like, "Oh no, I'm getting some ink therapy. It's going to help." And I was like, okay, like, to each their own. Whatever. You're not hurting anybody. But after getting, even though this one was small, yes, I get it. I'm there with you. Yeah,
it really is.
I think from here on out, like, this area, I'm just gonna. If they keep bringing him out for CFF, I'm just gonna have him probably do one every time, just every CFF, just to make it a CFF band, and probably come up with some type of an art theory with him, and then just have him do it.
Well, think about it too. Because there's always flash sales that go on, especially during Friday the 13th. So if you find places around you, you might find some others that really speak to you, like, and you love the thing, or you like, people like the things like that. Make sure you're getting the stuff that you want. That's the big one, the important one.
Yeah, and I don't, and I mean outside of his flash sales, because he doesn't live too far from here. He's about 2 hours from here.
Oh, nice.
So him and I have already conversed about, when I come up with the ideas, as bad as I can sketch them out or describe them, come up with them, just making a trip out there and just having him do some more.
Well, it's funny too, because like, talking about that, like, you finding a really good tattoo artist that you trust and you can build that rapport with is also like, my buddy Kenny, who lives up here, amazing tattoo artist. And
Mm-hmm.
what I really always loved about him is he converses with you. He's not like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like, he converses with you. He wants to know, like, okay, what, because he wants his artwork, even if you want something that you love that other people have, like I have the TARDIS, lots of people have the TARDIS. He's like, I want you to have a one of a kind.
Right.
So how can we make this look? What can we do here? Like, all right, you like this, like, why don't we try that? So like that's and I got that same vibe from this guy, like that he's willing to work with you and put something together really cool. So, and that's important, man.
Yeah.
So you got to cultivate that stuff in all art for sure.
Yes.
But I love it, man. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, and I think my wife is feeling a little like wanting one, but we're gonna get her one.
Yep.
Eventually, she has a bunch already, but
there's nothing wrong with that. Get all. Oh my god, that 20 down challenge, man. That shit that's tough, Mick. Like, it's tough.
Right?
Yeah.
So Mary explained to me what you thought it was.
Yes.
And you were trying to be nice.
Yes.
So the $20 challenge, for anybody who isn't aware, that's where we go out at the convention. Each of us take $20. And this year we were like, all right, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we all go out and buy for our wives? But Paul didn't catch on. He thought we were buying for each other. So instead so he didn't want to win the competition. He wanted to get us something nice that meant something to us. And Sturdy and I understood the assignment and wanted to demolish each other. Which is the whole point of it was
it's for the wives.
And I think that's incredibly sweet of you. I really do. But like, it's just like when she told me to, I was like, so I won.
Yep.
But no, Sturdy won because Sturdy is goddamn, and he went to
those giblets, man. He fucking, I don't even know where he found those. I didn't even see, I think Sam said she saw the giblets somewhere, but I was like, I missed them
too. Yeah. Oh,
like, you fucker. You got what, 21?
Yeah, he got, I think I got like 17. He got like 21. He
Right.
got 4, but you got really nice stuff. I'm like, but like the name of the game is you got to try and get the free shit with it.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, you bought, okay, if you buy 2 stickers, you get 1 free. And then he handed me 2 other stickers. He was like, here. And I'm like, boom, that counts. You roll on. I still can't get over that. He rolled out 4 things, and we're like, aha! And he got the nicest stuff. I feel like such a piece of shit. But it was so funny.
Well, because I guess I was just like sad about it ending and us doing this, and I got excited about this, and like I just got caught up. I guess just because I was used to you and Casey doing it for each other, so I was like, oh, it's just us for each other. And then I was like, okay, so what'd you get for your wife? And I'm like, what? Oh shit, let me run back out. And then everyone's closing down and shit, and I was like, mystery bag, crystals, done. Like, hopefully they look amazing. And when that video gets posted, you guys, you're gonna love it, because as I'm opening it, I'm realizing what's actually in there, because I didn't even bother to before we filmed. So I'm like, oh look, here's a heart and shit like that. And I think when we examined it at home, it wasn't even a heart. You get what it was, a cloud. I was like, oh, that's cool.
You're so pure-hearted too, because about it too, because you really were trying to be so nice. And we were just like, fuck it, let's go get as much as we can. And I'm on, and like, if you wait until you see my portion in the video where I'm walking around, I'm like, fuck these guys, I'm gonna go.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to see that.
I was like, I gotta find the most stuff. Stickers.
Yep. Perfect.
I'm laughing like an idiot, but I can't help it. It's so, and we had so much fun, man. That was such a good time. Oh, dude. Any well, this isn't our final thoughts. I'm sure we're gonna have more to talk about, but any quick thoughts to share about Carolina Fear Fest this year that stood out to you?
I can't talk about more than I already have about the layout. I just think they did it right. I think they kind of found the right groove of how they got to set up where the panels are. They put the actors I love that. I just, it looks so much bigger. We had so many more people there. And it was nice and spread out. So it still had its good home feel. It was sad seeing, the Goblin, it being its last year. So it was kind of bittersweet knowing that.
Dude, I'm so glad I got a picture of it.
Yeah.
And that guy, Tim, had me misty eyed, man, in his stories and stuff. Like Tim Shockey, who restored it and brings it out on tour. And he's got so much movie memorabilia from the movie and all of his stories. Truly fantastic. I really just a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Overall, for
sure.
sure.
A lot of those vendors are just great, and it's fun hearing your stories, and I always try to compliment everybody that, since year one that I've seen them out there, and I still remember what I bought from them, and I'll talk to them, and I know it means a lot to them that I still remember them from buying something 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
because it does mean, so I if I could encourage anyone to do anything, if you go back to the same vendor, talk about what you got, tell them how much you appreciate it, or her how much you appreciate it, because that goes a long way for them, because that means they made an impact and they made something worth remembering. So, because that's their art.
And who did you get to meet?
Which time? Good God.
Damnly stupid.
Yes, I did. Tom Arnold, man. He was fun. I didn't haze him or anything like that. He was quick, man. He was very, let's do this.
I think he set me up. I think he set me up with that chair.
He did. He fucking did, because he was like, chair face this way, and you're like,
and
like this.
Yeah. I was like, you want it out? He goes, yeah. So I put it out, and then he made it a part of his act. And I didn't realize at the time, because I was rushing off to the next thing. And I was like, wait. And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, I was a part of his act. Like, he wasn't a dick about it or anything. He was really nice. But I was like, okay, I get it. I was a part of his act now. That's what it was. Like, it kicks it off. So fine, whatever. I'll be your prop comic. Your prop, not the comic, but your prop hound. Whatever.
Yep.
Where's RoboCop Paul? Where is he?
He's actually sitting right in front of me. I put him right in the TV next to some of my little pops.
That's awesome.
Which, once it's cleaned up more, I'll show you next time.
And then Radar says he had a blast. That's how we did too, man. It was so fun.
Always. It's just
con, meeting everyone. The vibes were more than I could ask for. It was a great time, Sturdy. Yes. And he's still down there.
That's funny. Yeah, he is still down here. I keep forgetting he's still here.
I came home the next day. I was like, I'm wiped out.
Yeah.
I was done for.
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure if Troy is going to make it tonight, but I figure we'd jump into our topic,
Okay.
What do you think? And so we've been watching, you watch a lot of movies anyway, but we've been watching a lot of movies this year.
Yes, we have.
And, in most recent years, especially within the last 5 years, I'd say, especially, since COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Probably before. And we can get into that too. But I'm wondering about the staying power of movies. Now, we talk about movies all the time. And there's so many that just have this type of staying power that they're just iconic. I mean,
right.
Back to the Future, one of my favorites, Star Wars, Shawshank Redemption is one that comes to mind. Like, these movies that, like, not everybody loves them or anything, but they're not going anywhere. You're always going to remember them. They're go-tos. Mm-hmm. I'm having a hard time. I don't see where you are. Oh, there you are. Oh, Troy's here. All right, cool. Let's bring him in.
What's up, Troy?
What's up, man?
I apologize. I just been sitting there watching you guys, and I didn't scroll down on the phone to see that. I entered myself into the room. So yeah, I've been here.
No, you're good.
Brushing up on reading lips. So yeah, here I am.
Well, I appreciate you, man, joining in tonight. Before we get started on this topic, though, Troy Hill from Troy Hill Talks. Troy, thank you so much for joining in, man.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love your stuff, man. First of all, you have a voice as powerful and dominant as James Earl Jones.
Yes.
I heard your voice on TikTok. Like, I scroll through sometimes and I listen to reviews if I'm moving around and stuff. I heard your voice. I'm like, who is this guy? I go and I look, and you just got such a cool vibe. I watched a lot of your stuff. Your
I
YouTube
really
channel.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I usually get that or the Allstate guy voice or whatever. So, but I have yet to get a check for any of it yet, though. But fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
soon. And
Yep.
And that's why I think people need to check out your stuff for sure. And everything's linked below. But I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your channel and what you got going on.
Oh, my name's Troy Hill. I've had my channel for like about 3 years now. It's just basically movie reviews and video reactions. Now I'm delving more into sports podcasting also, so I'm a Cowboy fan. Sorry, not sorry. But so I got that on there too, and it's just trying to figure out the algorithm, man. It's just trying to figure out this big thing, because I think it's kind of like YouTube kind of forces us to be like in one specific thing, where there's like we all enjoy multiple things. We kind of want to have everything just be at one place, but they kind of force you out of that, it seems like. So it's just figuring out the riddle, you know.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, like a lot of that, from what I'm figuring is like stuff like this, collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that seems to be like the way around it, because you're gonna get your voice out there more and stuff like that. And that's why I'm so glad you could be on the show tonight, because I'm really enjoying your stuff, man.
I really appreciate that. I've been watching your stuff as well too. I'm really liking these TikTok short reviews, because it's just because they're honest. I mean, you can tell that they're honest. You can tell the sincerity. It's like it's to the point. It's not like a 15-minute long thing I have to sit through. It's kind of like I like this, that, and this and the other thing, and then that's it. And that's all I really need to know, So
yeah.
I mean, I think it's very, very helpful. So
yeah, and I love the way you put your so much of like how you, and not scripted, but like, because this is your review, but like the way you write it out is so eloquent. It's really well told, man.
Well, I really, really appreciate that. And I mean, I would like to do some live stuff here sooner or later. And you guys are going to be the first 2 guys I go to. So get ready for that.
Hey, awesome. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you're here. And we were going to talk about the staying power of today's movies. And one thing I really love, too, watching a lot of your most recent reviews, is you and I disagree on our reviews of movies, but I like your takes, and it makes me rethink. And I love that you put in your reviews that like change my mind, sort of the same, similar, like, maybe I missed something, or I'm going to check it out later and see if I see it a different way. I think that's a great way to review.
Well, I don't think anybody's like 100% wrong on the review. I think there's just people interpret things differently. Yes. It could be life experiences that make me see this particular scene or whatever different, like the new Joker movie's gonna be coming out here soon in October. To me, that's like an adult version of Willy Wonka. It's like what Willy Wonka could be. And it just has like little pieces in there. They kind of, it's just relatable in certain instances and stuff. So that's the reason why. But for other people, it might rub them completely the wrong way, because all they can get out of their brain is, it's a musical. Well, it really isn't, but it sort of is, I guess. So
right.
And that's I'm actually glad they're kind of opening it. And me personally, we want to talk about that real quick. Like I'm kind of glad they're opening it up to something different. I felt like the tone of the first one was so one directional that to open it up this route seems really interesting to me and wants me to come back.
Yes. Yep. I mean, well, the DC, that's a whole other conversation. DC, but they still got a big hole to dig themselves out of, I mean, hopefully James Gunn, because he's excellent with storytelling and creating characters, hopefully he can get the job done, but we'll still have to see.
Yeah. What do you think about the new Superman suit?
Someone's always going to complain about the suit, right? At the end of the day, I mean, we're all going to complain about the suit. It's going to have like his little things here and there, but once the movie happens, people forget things. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Remember, everybody hated Heath Ledger as the Joker.
I thought he was outstanding. At the end of the day, I think pound for pound, he was the best Joker that we got or had. So yeah. But as far as staying power with movies, that's a very interesting question, because I don't think in this era that something like that really exists anymore. Is there name movies that you've seen, like the last movies you've seen in the last 6 months that you watched more than once? For me, it's just been Late Night with the Devil.
That's actually that's perfectly answered that, because he's seen it like 50 times.
That movie is badass. Yeah, I'm not gonna curse too much. I mean, because I could read your lip there, Paul. I could tell you were saying certain words and stuff when I was looking on the outside, so I'm not that comfortable yet. But maybe one day.
I pronounce that F really hard.
I can feel it in my soul when you sound like, wow. But that movie is just excellent. I mean, to me, it's kind of if you take a half an hour out of it, it's almost like an anthology episode of Twilight Zone almost. It has that type of vibe to it and stuff. So I really, really enjoyed it. But outside of that, this year, I have not re-watched anything. The only thing I probably will rewatch is Roadhouse. I know it sounds silly, but the movie was fun.
I agree. And actually, to chalk that up, The Fall Guy was really fun too.
Haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things about that as well.
Yes.
I put it on that level of Roadhouse where like I don't need this like stylized type of action film. Like it's just fun. It was a fun action film. You go in there and you got good characters, good time. And those two have been and I think Deadpool and Wolverine are going to add to that of like
Absolutely.
just like fun time summer action movies, which we've been missing and sorely lacking.
Yes. Well, we put ourselves in a bubble. It's like every movie supposedly has some type of political point. And I think once we get to the movie theater, we're supposed to check that type of stuff at the door, because if you already have like a messed up feeling about a female being apparently overpowered, you're not going to have a good movie going experience. So why even waste your time? If you're going to nitpick like that, you're not going to have a good time no matter what movie you see. There's always going to be something that's going to bother you. And I just I erase all that stuff when I go into a movie theater. When I go into a movie theater, I want to forget, what's going on in the outside world, and I'm not dragging that extra added baggage with me into the theater. So
to that point, then I would love to hear, because I have not checked out your review of Civil War. Have you had a chance to check that one out yet?
Haven't watched it yet. I've been kind of like doing, because on my regular job, I've just got a promotion. So I've kind of been trying to retweak things. I appreciate that. So the last week and a half, I've been kind of like, I got to make time. So that's kind of where I've been at.
I completely get it. But if and when you do get a chance, I would love to hear your take on that, because Paul actually sold me on going to see it because of its lack of like identifying political parties. So they leave it open for interpretation. Yeah, right. It's like it's very obtuse in how it's all connected, and it's just, so I kind of dug that when I went in. I was like, all right, you can see familiarity, in the world of in events of what's going on, but like I was like, okay, at least this is a little bit interesting. It's more focused in one way and not the way I thought it was going to be. So
right,
that's why I kind of dug it.
I mean, to me, it's just about the overall movie experience. I mean, I went to go see Marvel's, not a great movie, but I had a good time because people brought their families had their kids there and stuff, and kids were laughing and parents were getting involved and stuff. And we don't necessarily have that movie experience anymore. I mean, movies used to be an event. Like in the 90s, you got Terminator and all these movies, and people would go to the water cooler the weekend after, and they talk about these movies all week long and stuff. And we don't have that anymore. It's just not the same. None of these movies have the same impact. I mean, like Roadhouse, for example, what makes Roadhouse, I think the best thing that Roadhouse could have been is not be called Roadhouse. It could have been called some other shit, and nobody would have cared. They were like, this movie is great, it's awesome. But calling it Roadhouse is what kind of damned it a little bit with some people.
Right.
But again, back to staying power. It's just such a. Why am I gonna rewatch something that's similar to something that I loved growing up in the 80s or 90s? Why am I gonna watch a buddy cop movie of today when there's several of them I can rewatch from like 80s or 90s? Because they're all grabbing bits and pieces from things now. And on all these movies they run too damn long. I mean, like my next review stuff is gonna be for Bad Boys. I'm gonna do original movies, and then I'm gonna do a review for the new one. But I can already tell you the problem with the originals, what they were all a half an hour too damn long. I'm old school. I like the 90-minute movie, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm out. There's no reason for an action movie to be over 2 hours or 2.5 hours, unless it's like some type of epic ending type of movie, or like a Marvel like ending of that specific phase of the series or whatever. I can understand that, but
Die Hard at 88 minutes, I think, is the perfect amount of action.
Yeah, and Die Hard is probably like one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Because like every movie that because Lethal Weapon, same, Speed is around the same. Like so, like I completely agree, especially in action sci-fi. Like if you're going too long, give me the 70-minute horror movie too. I don't even care. Go back to the days when they were just like
absolutely
quick.
I mean, and Die Hard's important to me because that was. I mean, I don't want to age myself, but that's the first rated R movie I saw in a movie theater. So that's because I'm not a young man. I'm old. But I carry on.
And you have, but listen, you have great opinions about it, and I really do agree with you. In my opinion, the staying power is lost because of quite a few things, but trailers, I think, destroy a lot of things today. You remember when the trailers used to be short and they used to just show you glimpses, get through it. You got interested or you weren't interested.
Yeah, I tell you, the one trailer I saw recently is that Long Legs.
Yes.
That looks incredible. They capture the tension perfectly. They do everything in the exact right. It's like a tension build. You know, I mean, another great trailer I saw was what was it, Monkey Man? Great trailer. Movie, I was kind of pissed off because I thought I was going to be. They made it seem like it was going to be the greatest action movie I've ever seen in my life. And then again, that's a very big, hard, high ass bar to go over the top. And to me,
I get it.
It just didn't. I mean, it's an action movie. I don't need to have all these political tropes. I don't need to have any of this stuff. I just want to see people just being boot ass the whole damn movie. Explosions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for, you know. But I thought that movie ran too long, also. But yeah, people got in my ass on my review of Monkey Man. They're like, "What do you know? That's the best thing ever." I'm like, "Okay."
Another one I do disagree with you on. I did really like it, but I think I agree with you on the fact that because I threw the trailer away.
See, I had that thing just stuck in my head. I cannot let's see what Monkey Man and Boy Kills World. Between those two trailers, can you really tell the difference between those two trailers with a level of expectation? Oh
God, no. I agree I agree. Like that's why I had to throw it away because as soon as Monkey Man started, I was like, you're trying to sell this as a horror movie. It's not. You're trying to sell this as a John Wick stylized action, and it's not. This is more on the level, in my opinion, of a better story of if you actually added a story to Death Wish.
Yeah,
there was actually a real story in that movie.
No, I absolutely see that. But I mean, that's like another movie I'll never see. You know, again. But there's good movies too. I mean, I enjoyed Mario Brothers. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I have not seen that shit since then, and I don't intend to. I just have. It was fine for that moment in time in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather play a video game of Mario than watch Mario in a story. So I just had to see it once.
I control the story.
Absolutely.
Now, I think besides Late Night with the Devil, the only one that I think has staying power so far this year for me is Dune Part 2. I think that's the only other one that's lived up to the expectation where I'm like, that's going to be around and talked about for a while for me to come.
That's a weekend thing for me because I still have not watched 1 or 2. Not yet. Well, I mean...
Can't wait.
I mean, I saw the trailer. I did a trailer reaction for it, and I got hell for that because, I mean, I'm older. I did not like the first Dune. So, I mean, but
that's okay.
But you got Star Wars compared to, in my generation, I'm playing with Star Wars toys. Right. No one's having a Dune battle in their backyard with toys back in the 80s. You got Star Wars sitting here. So that's what I was trying to explain to people, but they were like, nah, you got to read the book about us. I mean, all this. I was like, that's fine. I will watch it, you know, because I've heard a lot of good things about it, but it's just not yet. I mean,
you don't have to read anything. I'm right there with you. Dune 1984 sucks.
Yeah, that Lynch movie was just weird. Sting, we had Sting. Why did we have Sting? I don't know, but
that's the thing. No, you can't say that because saying that Lynch movie was weird is saying something because every Lynch movie is weird.
Yeah,
the least weird of the Lynch movies.
I was gonna say something silly. I was like, yeah, Sting, and then after that, he started a career in professional wrestling. But man, he just changed everything.
But you are correct. David Lynch has always just stayed a little weird. I don't know. I just feel like Dune, he just kind of was like, let's just.
No, you're right though. It's weird, but it's not his weird. It's like, what did you do with this movie?
Right. With me, I just think it's just a product of guilty of association with what I'm aware of Dune at this point. But I will see it. I mean, my daughter, she's solid. She told me to go watch it, so I'm like, okay, I will finally check it out. But that's still a weekend thing, dude. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just glad that there's no Austin Butler in a metal bikini bottom.
I think another big problem with movies just not having staying power nowadays is just because the demand is so high for us to always want blockbuster movies coming out constantly, and the supply is endless.
Yeah,
So it's not like
there's a difference between blockbusters and having a good story,
right?
And I think that's where we kind of like got the line in the sand. That it's like the executives want to make all this money by pulling on nostalgic strings and stuff now.
Yes.
I mean, like Ghostbusters, for example. I went to go see that at the theater, and I love Ghostbusters. I did not love that shit at all because I thought it was just, they had like 15 different subplots trying to be combined into one movie that just did not work. I mean, and the trailers seemed rushed. I didn't understand how all these spikes are shooting up for the ground. There's no casualties anywhere. There was like a bunch of problems I had before I even went into this movie. And I mean, I don't need to see a half-hearted Bill Murray anymore in any movie related to anything that I grew up with ever again. Yeah. I mean, he just had the check in his hand, just did this, and he was out. So,
no,
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
what'd you think of the last one?
I thought it was really good. That's the whole thing.
Okay. Right. Yeah. They raised the bar. They made it seem like great story. And then this one, it just seemed, like Mick said, too many plots going on that didn't tie together. And it just seemed rushed. This was just a cash grab. And I was severely disappointed because the last one,
they just tied the bow perfect. I mean, the bow was tied perfect at the end, you know, with it brings a little tear to your eye. You know,
absolutely,
and you know, it was perfect. So I was looking forward to this one. It just did not translate. I mean, that was the first movie I fell asleep. You ever been like watching a movie before you're just like barely trying to stay awake, and you swear that you're awake, but you're really not awake. You've been out for like 20 minutes, don't even realize it. And you don't check with anybody what 20 minutes you missed because you just don't even care. That was me.
That was me last weekend for The Strangers and what was the other movie, Mick?
If
and The Strangers.
Imaginary
I fell asleep for both
Friends.
those movies over the weekend.
What do you guys think about the purple pencil pen crayon dude? Have you guys seen that yet? It's a trailer. It's about the kid that has a purple crayon and he can write out like everything, and he writes himself to be an adult, and then he writes himself to be in reality.
Yeah, with Zachary Levi. I wonder if his agents hate him.
I think so.
Sometimes I'm like, because I love Zachary Levi. I think he's great. I loved him on Chuck. I liked him as Shazam. I thought he did a really good job. And no, I'm not saying the movies are great, but I liked him. Mm-hmm. And I thought he would have been a fun addition to if there was any other. I don't even want to say another Justice League. Forget it. I don't even want to pretend that would ever happen. But like,
there's plenty of videos on the interwebs letting us know how the vision of how it was supposed to take place.
Oh God! My God,
I think my problem is with this purple pencil is, to me, it seems like them trying to do like a revamped version of a Never-Ending Story, where he's just going to be in charge of it, then it's going to be something like that. And once again, it's just, don't regurgitate something that was already done correct, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It was not. Never-Ending Story was terrible.
Whoa.
Please proceed.
Whoa. What do you mean? You didn't wait.
I stand on this hill. I think it was
what?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You're on that hill, buddy. It's like I'm looking at you the hill. I'm like,
there are certain movies. There's certain movies I can't stand that I sit out on an island.
I get it.
Wow.
But I don't know. That had me skipping singing Never-Ending Story for quite a bit when I was a damn kid. Hell. Come on, Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying I ever want to see a horse sink in quicksand, but
fucking Atreyu, man. I still tear up every time. If I catch that on TV and I'm walking past, I'm like, I just gotta watch it. No,
I'm fine with that horse sinking because I know the real horse didn't die.
There's everyone has that movie though. I mean, I can tell you that I've never completely watched Reservoir Dogs in my entire life because I fall asleep every damn time. So I cannot tell you. I can't tell you if it was great or not. I just know I'm told that I'm supposed to love this movie. So, but I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to with the staying power. There's just absolutely zero creativity in movie making now, and they're all focused on trying to tug on a nostalgic heartstring in some type of way. Where I think collectively as people, we're all past that now. You know, it was cute when Stranger Things started it, and you know, we kind of evolved. It had like some more movies touching like here and there, but now I think we don't went to it too damn much now.
Yeah.
So, and I think that really just hurts the movie industry. I mean, also besides the ticket pricing being too high, that was an issue before COVID. You know, so a lot of people will say that, well, COVID killed the movie industry. Well, no, it didn't. The price, we already had issues with the movie industry before COVID, you know, and they're going to have to make the prices cheaper. I mean, because there's people who got like 3 kids or whatever. They're taking their kids to the movie, you know, and they're eating. The kids want to have a good time. That's $150, $200 night could be, you know, and that's rough, you know, for some.
Yeah. And if you're going to do that, have an event, you know, like if we're going like, and that it's that much, we're getting everything we want and more. You know, like it's got to be something. Like, and I'm not saying like families can't afford to do that. You need to lower ticket prices if you want us to keep coming back week after week. But like if you want to just do events, fine, but make them interesting, not just sell tickets at skyrocketing prices and food. That's kind of okay.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to it's just that. And then why do I want to see Rebel Moon when there's Star Wars? Or why do I want to see a movie about time travel when there's Back to the Future, arguably the greatest trilogy? I mean, and I'm a diehard Star Wars guy, but I think that the Back to the Future trilogy is probably the best trilogy ever made for a motion picture.
No argument here. No arguments here.
So where are you at? What's your favorite?
Oh, so no, I love Back to the Future. I just want to fuck the Mick.
I just promoted this man to co-host. I think he just lost that position to you. Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time.
It's perfect. I mean, it really, really is.
And that trilogy is open and shut all the way down. Completely a great trilogy. Like it's told perfectly.
Yep, absolutely.
Sure plot holes, but still a really great trilogy. Like
livable, breathable plot holes. I mean, there's stuff in Star Wars is still, but it's Star Wars, dude. I mean, we'll look at it this way for like staying power. When's the last time you watched one of the newer Star Wars movies versus one of the older ones?
I will say Rogue One has staying power for me.
Well, Rogue One's a different animal.
Yeah.
I think, you know, definitely a different animal.
I wanted more like that.
Yeah,
honestly.
Right?
I wanted more movies like Rogue One because they did that. I thought they did that very well compared to the rest of the, I guess, Skywalker, whatever you call it.
I don't even know what to call that thing. But, I mean, I think to me, at the end of the day, for the newer Star Wars trilogy, I watched it. I didn't love it. I feel it's a slap in the face of anybody that's been a Star Wars fan, because if you can't give us any scenes with Han Solo, Leia, Lando, and the Skywalker all in the same damn scene, you don't know Star Wars. Because I think that's one of the things that most Star Wars fans wanted, you know, out of anything, was just to see all those characters in one space again. I mean, I just thought it was kind of tacky what they did, to be quite honest. But then again, I mean, Star Wars, I will go see anything Star Wars that they ever tell me is coming out. And it's sad. It's sad, but I mean, there's nothing Star Wars could do to me. I mean, there's things they do to piss me off, but I'm still going to go check it out, man.
Because at the end of the day, like we were talking about this earlier off camera, and we were saying like we got to stop comparing movies like Goonies to Schindler's List and being like, it's never going to live up to that. Like, there's got to be levels to what we're like. Yeah, Star Wars has gone down in a lot of its films recently in quality. No argument. But there are things coming out in Star Wars that are truly spectacular. And I'm not going to give up on the franchise.
Yeah, Acolyte has my attention.
Yes, absolutely. But like even the Mandalorian, great. All their animated series are great. Like, you know, Star Wars Visions was really well done. You know, I love the artwork in that. It's so
that's another project of me and another friend. One of my friends from New Jersey. We're going to do a podcast because we're two guys that's never watched any animated Star Wars, but we're diehard fans.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to listen to that.
So we're going to review like I think I don't want to do the first Clones because it seems like there's not a lot of dialogue in that one, right?
No, there's a good amount.
The Cartoon Network one?
Well, that was I think that came out. The TV show. Yeah, you need to watch that. That's great.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna figure out which direction we're gonna go in. We're gonna just review it a couple episodes at a time, just go through the whole thing. So
yeah, because they had the movie. And then they had the series, which just wrapped up not too long ago. It's great. You'll love it. Rebels is great. There's a lot of really fun stuff. The Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire came out. So like they're putting out some really quality stuff there. So I think Star Wars is always going to have that staying power because of that nostalgic connection and the TV shows. You know, and if they build up the quality of movies, and just get better and better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Frank, like Fast and Furious. I think that's another thing that's kind of ruined the movie going experience, and because I can't tell the difference between. I mean, just imagine it. Some of your closest friends and stuff, they were some thieves, some punk thieves, are stealing DVD players. Now those guys, 5 years later, they're international super spies that have like superpowers apparently, and they go to outer space.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they did that. every bit of what you just said is true in that franchise, and it's not a Marvel franchise.
They would steal DVDs and have a big family dinner at the end of it and stuff, and that was them. And now hell, they might be battling dinosaurs in the next movie. Who knows?
Yeah.
I want to play a trivia game where I just name things that happen in franchises, and you have to guess the franchise. And I'm going to start with the Fast and the Furious. I guarantee you, everyone will say like Star Trek or Star Wars or something like that.
It's just crazy. I mean, I hope we can fix this whole thing, but I just don't. I mean, just think about how many short stories you get, like Ray Bradbury's short stories in general. You can make a movie out of like each and every damn thing. Yeah. I mean, and turn it into a full blown movie. I mean, I think there's resources out there where we could have like something totally fresh, totally new. People are going to want to rewatch over and over again, but we're still kind of in that phase where, I mean, damn it, I thought I would always want to see a superhero movie and stuff, but I don't really care if another Marvel movie comes out right now.
Yeah. I'm over it. Honestly, the fatigue set in.
I mean, after Endgame, they could just like let that stuff sit for a decade and then try and reboot something, but they've just kind of gotten their own way now. It's all muddled now, and there's really no fixing it.
No, there really isn't. Well, let's see if Deadpool does his damnness, but I doubt it.
See, I mean,
it's not going.
Yeah, it's still gonna leave something, and it's sad. I mean, I'm excited for the new James Gunn DCU. I'm excited about that, but because Peacemaker was a badass TV show.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to create characters, obscure characters that, like, in a most normal circumstance, you wouldn't even give a shit about. But the way he presents them, that guy's like your best damn friend or whatever after 2 episodes, So and he has the knack to do that. So I'm all for it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, Troy, we're actually gonna let you go, but before we do, I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Name a movie that you think has staying power that came out in the last 5 years? Paul, I'm going to ask you the same, and I'll answer as well.
Last 5 years.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
It took me this whole episode to think about it.
Because I'm trying to say something. I'm trying to think of something that's kind of like recent that I've seen. I think Wonka actually has staying power. It might sound silly, but I really do.
Okay, I think that's a good choice, personally.
Because I mean, that movie jacked me up at the end with the whole mother thing and all that. I mean, that movie pretty emotional for me and stuff. So I think Wonka's definitely up there.
I love it.
But there's nothing else that kind of just like sticks in my brain. That's just like 5 years from now. Oh, you guys got to see this because this, that, or the other. I don't know if there really is something.
Paul, how about you? What do you think?
So if we're saying the last 5 years, I'm going to have to go with my shirt and say Get Out. I'm going to say Jordan Peele's Get Out is one I think, 10 years from now, if I meet someone, they're like,
is this the last 5 years, though?
I believe so.
I think it's been longer than 5 years.
Oh, is it?
2017.
I think so.
Fuck.
I won't give that.
But no.
You failed.
Well, then I'll say Us. I'll go with Us then, which is still a great choice.
2019. I'm not giving. That's 5 years. I'll give that.
Us is a great choice, but it's
that's a great choice. And Nope, I think works too.
Yeah, I mean, Get Out was that was a badass movie. Jesus,
it's just revolutionary.
Really
I just didn't expect it. Like, I went to that theater by myself because no one was seeing the new Jordan Peele movie, and it was Thursday night. I worked at the theater at the time. And my roommate now was my GM, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you mind if I just go watch this?" He's like, "Yeah, no one's in there." And I was sitting there in silence at that, and was like, "Everyone needs to see this." It's just, if you just watch it, just even as a horror movie, it's great. It had the scenes built, the tension, all that. I'm like, and if you look deeper, the more you look into it, the deeper it gets, and you're like, "Wow, Jordan Peele did his research. He cared. Everything means something." I was amazed. And then, you know, within a couple weeks of that, then all of a sudden everyone was starting to see it.
So you didn't expect a Key and Peele theme song when you sat down in the theater. Like it's gonna be
well, that's what I thought. You know, I honestly was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be, you know, kind of like Jim Carrey's, what was it, 13? I was like, and, you know, it's comedian doing a, you know, horror. I'm like, it might be okay. But then I didn't expect Get Out or Us or Nope. Like he just that.
If you watch Key and Peele though, like you could tell he had a good horror eye. He did a lot of horror skits on that show that like
I love this.
he was really good at filming that stuff, and it was always funny. But I always looked at like comedy and horror as sort of interchangeable in terms of direction.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought like if you put a really good comedy director in to make a horror movie, they could do really well, and vice versa.
That makes sense with Halloween 2018. That makes sense with Halloween Kills with Danny. Was it Danny McBride?
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense to me. I mean I'm a big Halloween guy. So
very cool, awesome. We're definitely have to get you back on and talk horror.
Halloween is that's a thing. That's a thing.
Well, to agree with our buddy Radar here, Late Night with the Devil, I think. But I when I say staying power, I feel like indie movies do ultimately have a lot of staying power because there's so much. It's cult, you know, for the most part. A lot of those indie things. So like they're always going to have some sort of following, and followings can always grow. Like the staying power of like the big movies, like we're talking about, like you don't see it like you did back in the day. Like we talk about Pulp Fiction or stuff like that, like stuff that really stands out. My choice for this in the last 5 years I'd probably say Maverick. That feels like just one that like you could watch over and over again. It's a lot of fun.
No, that's a good, very good. That's actually a very good point. That was a very surprising movie in terms of something being that so far. I mean, so many decades away from the original for it, like where because it could have easily turned into like Coming to America 2 or some shit like that. I mean, it really could have.
Yep. Yeah,
I listened to that episode of your show.
God.
I mean, it really could have turned into it, you know. But no, I think that's a great choice for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, that's one I don't mind the original, but it was never one of that was a go-to to me. Like the jocks really always loved that movie growing up. So like I was like I like it, but it was like it's too much testosterone for me. I'm good. Like I don't need all that. But like the second one, I was like, it's so much more poignant and a good story behind it. I was like, thank God that first one exists because the second story was enhanced by Goose and everything else. But it's far superior in my opinion. They took it to a better place. Yeah, the staying power of all the movies we mentioned, you know, it's good to know because I was really wondering about this, but you guys reminded me that there are some things still shining through and holding on, and that's important in movies for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But I want to urge everyone to go and subscribe to Troy Hill Talks.
I'd appreciate that.
Yes, and like everything, and make sure you're supporting. And Troy, I would love to have you back on. Especially now I know you're a horror fan. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, just let me know the time and place. I'm down.
But before we go, where can everybody find you, follow you? And definitely on TikTok. Go follow him on TikTok. Great videos over there as well. But please let them know where you are.
Yep, on TikTok at Troy Hill Talks, YouTube Troy Hill Talks, and Instagram I'm Troy Hill, which is a combination of me personally being stupid and then just some movie stuff. So whatevs.
Perfect.
I love it.
Oh, and if you happen to be a Dallas Cowboy fan, again, sorry, not sorry. There is always the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy football podcast that I host every week. So,
awesome.
But it's I will say it's for realistic fans because I'm a different sort of fan, I will say.
I get that. I mean, listen, I'm a Giants fan, and I don't know if I'm going to turn on the TV with those ugly jerseys they just put out in the effect.
Well, yeah, they do look like kind of Christmas sockish, but yeah, they're rough, dude.
Oh my God. And with that,
well, talking about the Christmas ugliest sweater and stuff, you guys are gonna win that contest.
Very true, very true. But I want to say thank you so much, Troy, for joining us. We had a lot of fun with you, and so glad you came on and can make it. And please, I'm gonna message you, and we want to get you back on again for sure.
Okay, yes. And I want to have you guys on my channel. I definitely want to have you guys for the first go around on my channel here real soon.
We'll be there.
Sure. All right, sounds good. I appreciate it, guys.
Take care, sir.
All right, you take it easy.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun. Troy is a lot of fun, man. I swear his TikToks are what won me over, and then I checked out his YouTube channel, and it's just has some great takes on a lot of stuff. So I just had a great time with him. And thank you so much for coming by.
I had to stop listening on YouTube because I tried to, I work at a car wash, everybody, so I'm sitting there, headphones in, listening to him. His inflections kill me because he gets so serious and his voice is so commanding sometimes where I'm like, oh, someone's talking to me. Then I'm like, oh, that's just him getting excited or, upset about what he's talking about. And I'm like, damn it. Okay, we're good.
You do get preoccupied because it is very commanding, commanding voice. But like the opinions, a lot of the opinions that I disagreed with in my initial reviews of certain movies that he was reviewing, his opinions really opened me up, and that's what to check something else out or think about it a different way. So I dug that a lot. Even with Monkey Man, I had high praise for Monkey Man, but I definitely I started looking at it with a more analytical eye, especially so I do appreciate those sort of insights. But I guess let's get to our reviews.
Yay.
We're reviewing tonight Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and Atlas. Let's start with this one.
Okay.
I don't have much to say about this one, although I don't know how this is the worst Jennifer Lopez movie this year. She made 2 movies herself, and this is the worst Jennifer Lopez movie this year. I'm going out of the gun. You want to know what this movie's about? Watch iRobot, Blade Runner, Terminator 2. Pretty much throw any sci-fi movie in the last 30
Pacific
years.
Rim.
Pacific Rim, Alien, everything. It's just this movie is so hollow and so short on story and everything else. It's disturbingly bad. Edge of Tomorrow, another one they stole from. Every aspect, but all of those movies have something in common. They have everything. Everything this movie stole from them wasn't a story. It was just pieces of their stories, and it doesn't understand it. And I'm sorry, but if in any description that they have to keep, first of all, they said it in the description in the movie. They say it in the trailer of the movie. All of the characters say it about her in the movie. I don't know if she's contractually obligated to make sure that she's called brilliant over and over again by everybody who works with her, because that's all they kept doing. We know you're brilliant. We know you're brilliant. We know you're brilliant. And she really isn't. She spends most of the time crying and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the computer AI has to talk her down. It's so ridiculous. I believe that Denise Richards' character in that James Bond movie where she played a physicist was more believable than anything Jennifer Lopez did in this movie. Anything Jennifer Lopez. I don't even know if Jennifer Lopez was actually there.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't. I just don't know if she was.
Yep.
And with that being said, Paul, what did you think of this abysmal piece of crap?
Let me give you a different perspective of how great this movie. No. So we were coming off the con, so we were just looking for something to watch. It had just been released. We're like, why not? I like sci-fi. I typically enjoy her. Like you said, it was very hollow. I mean, the best part was, the only good part of this movie, in my opinion, is just the dialogue between her and the AI, just being sassy with each other. But past that, like you described very perfectly, Mick, it's just a mixture of all of your favorite sci-fi movies kind of merged into one, but they're not meant to be merged together. So you're just kind of like, okay. And then, there were too many questions for me plot-wise. And I get plenty of movies I love have plot holes, but this one, it was like you have an AI that took out a lot of humanity, 3 million humans, and then went to some random planet and is hiding there. Well, if there are no humans there, why are we not just blowing up the planet? I'm not saying that any life deserves that, but if nothing's there and that's a problem, why is anyone going, let's get him and bring him back? And fuck that. Nuke the bitch. Problem solved.
Yeah, well, again, and just to point out to that, it was some off the wall, not bullshit, non sequitur. They want him alive because they want a CPU, which was basically Terminator 2. The whole chip aspect of it, which doesn't even come into play. She just he reminds her at the end, no, remember they want me alive. And she kills him and was like, they just want your CPU.
Yeah. And then
so you couldn't do this the whole time. You couldn't tell them that. I can kill him and get a CPU. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
They didn't know that.
And I thought it was cheap that they kind of tried to go for like a philosophical end where they're like, AI has a soul. Like, how do you know as a human you have a soul? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Like, why? Why? You're not that movie. Like, why? Whoever wrote that, I'm sorry, but I hate you just for that.
I wonder if this is why Ben Affleck wants to divorce her.
This movie is probably because he wants to divorce her. She probably was like, I just need a movie. And I want to be called brilliant. I want to cheer up. And then
it's going to be the greatest movie that's ever been made. And like Ben Affleck's like, I'm a director. You know what? Ben Affleck needs some happiness in his life. I hope he goes back with Jennifer Garner. Like, and he should have never. He should no. In fact, she doesn't even deserve it. Like, she deserves better.
That's true.
Ben, stop fucking up.
If I could bring back, okay, what's a movie I want a sequel to? The Town. I would love another Town. Like, if that, even a prequel, if you kept all the original actors, just seeing them commit the heist before this one. Not even heist, but, whatever. Personally. And that's a personal thing for me, just because I enjoyed The Town.
I'd have to I would never want a prequel because the actors are too old at this point.
That's true.
And I wouldn't want them to recast.
Oh. Yeah, I want, because Jeremy Renner
won't be the same. So like that's why I wouldn't want a prequel now. Now maybe like a year or two after, sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely get where you're coming from. And like when I say that, I'm like, it's not a matter of like it shouldn't exist. It's a matter of like, can I see that? Can I see what would a sequel to that movie look like? And like I don't, try to picture it and play in my head. Anyway, I'd rather talk about the fake
any other movie
Town 2 than Atlas. So what do you think my rating for this is?
Probably 1 star, if that. I'll say 1.
Well, yours was a 2, and this is monumental because I think this is the first time I've ever done this. No stars.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't even know that I was willing to go to no stars until I saw this movie. I have given some really bad movies half a star.
Yes.
This didn't deserve the half the star. I didn't find any, like, even the good actors in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And do not dare watch this film and tell me that Mark Strong, Sterling K. Brown, or what's his name? The other one in the film. The other big name actor that was in the film. Simu Liu. Sorry, I want to make sure I say his name right. Those 3 actors who I have seen in other projects do really well.
Yes.
As actors. And in this movie, even Mark Strong, who in my opinion is the best actor in this film and one of the best actors out there, was not good. So I chalk that up to not them. I chalk that up to wooden dialogue, poor story, and terrible direction. So sorry, not sorry. You get 0 stars from me.
That's fair. And you got 2 because I'm coming off a con. So I was already sad about leaving the con, and I was already in a good mood because of the con. So so it probably would have been half a star, maybe 1 star, but you got 2 because I was.
Well, you gave them 2, so I feel like that warrants you should rewatch this again.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you. I don't want to rewatch it. I'm going to give it time, but then I'll rewatch it. I promise I will. I'll rewatch it. Damn it.
All right. Let's get to our next one tonight, and that is Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. All right. Here's an interesting one. So this one, all right, I really like the Mad Max movies, but it is not lost on me that like Mad Max 3, aka Beyond Thunderdome, or isn't that great of a movie. Even the first one is like really experimental and exploitative of its time, the Australian exploitation movement, but like really well done for an indie film, but it doesn't hold up to like the Road Warrior or Fury Road. This movie was very boring to me. It's all about Furiosa and how she came into being with Mortonton Joe, and you see that goes through this guy called what's his name? Dementis.
Yeah,
he goes by. He thinks himself like a Roman, like emperor almost, and he's trying to work his way into that in this whole outback land. And he takes her in, and like he's really creepy and really weird about it. Then he trades her away to a Mortonton Joe, and like she becomes like. And then you see her like get on the war rig and stuff, and like take that on as a Partidarian or something like that, which is the Roman guardians. special guardians and stuff. So all that stuff sounds interesting to a point. This movie does not let it become interesting at any point, and that makes me really, really sad. And I don't know, but I'm going to ruin it for you now. There's a weird Mad Max cameo in it that just like, I'm like, why? Why would you do that? So I don't know. For me, it lacked all the good things that Fury Road had.
Yeah.
It made it too complicated. None of these movies should be too complicated.
No.
And I don't know that I needed a prequel.
No.
So what do you think about this movie?
So I'll talk about the good first, what I did like. So visually, I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the last one, and I feel like this one was super similar. I do like how the scenes are shot. I love Miller, how he does his action scene. I'm not gonna, I would argue he's probably one of the best action guys right now for me personally. So I did enjoy that aspect. Now, as for story and everything, this movie was too damn long. It wasn't that good. I mean, you could see it on Anya's face, even though she's an actress, and I'm not saying she's not a great one because she is, but you could tell she was over filming this midway through, just even in the movie. I feel like she regretted choosing to be in this movie just because I mean, I just don't think they let her shine. To me, Chris Hemsworth shined more than she did, and it's a movie about her. So I think that's kind of confusing to me. Not confusing. I don't know. I didn't like it.
But like to that point, just to add to it, because I'm not disagreeing with you. Because now that I think about it, she doesn't even show up until like 40 minutes in.
Right.
And then when she does show up, it like does take like a long time to really get in there. She doesn't even speak her first words until she gets to the point. So like, I do really feel like they didn't let her shine enough. And she is too good of an actor to, and I think Dune did that with her too.
Yeah.
Stop getting these amazing actors, because she is great. Go watch The Menu and tell me she's not a great actor. And a ton of other movies too, but like she's a great actor who brings something to the table. And she did in this. She was really good in this. So I agree with you. And so was Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth was really well done in this too. But his character, him as a villain, like you're making him Morton and Joe not the hero, but like not the villain. Like we're only supposed to be like, we know he is a villain, but we know that from Fury Road. Right. Now we're only focused on her revenge towards the Mentis, and it's like, what? Like, I understand you're trying to bridge the gap of how she got there.
Yes.
But you're right. Like by the time like she actually has any words or anything really going on, like she's not really shining, and she's not always there. Like you're right. I think this is more given to Chris Hemsworth. So I appreciate you pointing that out.
And I feel like, I'm not saying, because it all comes out, I don't see the script. I don't know how the director, I don't know how any of that went. But Chris Hemsworth, he seemed like, as far as villains go, it was like a Marvel villain. You know what I mean? Like, you're the bad guy, but that's about it. You weren't a bad guy where, you're just like, oh, he's a, POS, like this guy's really bad, or it's like, oh no, he is a villain. Like, kind of what you just said. And I don't know. And like I said, just the length of it did not need to be this long at all.
No, this should have been
cut out a lot of things. I didn't need to see her in school quite as long as you had, with her learning how to do the rigs and stuff. I didn't need 30. I think it was about 30 plus minutes of that. I didn't need all that. You could have done a quick 5-10 minutes of that. There's a lot that could have been cut. Because Mad Max is probably one of the first rated R franchises I think my dad started renting for me. So we started with all the originals. So Mad Max has a special spot in my heart because we've seen all of them together. And granted, he's like, it's different now, with the CGI and everything else and how much they can actually do. And to Miller's credit, I've heard a lot of reviews, even from Spielberg, about this one in particular, where they say, I don't know how you got the scene without, doing it all CGI. So I will say visually it's there. It's not the same vibe, coming off of Dune 2 for me. Everyone's gasping. Everyone was on the edge of their seats, invested. This one, people are looking at their phones, they're looking around, talking to each other, it just wasn't, for this being such a big movie to come out on Memorial Day weekend, it won't. And I don't know. I think it's better to stream. And I think if it's one you leave out of the Mad Max saga, I don't think you're missing that much, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. It was one that I don't know that I'd revisit this one. I'll revisit Fury Road. I've done it, and we're talking about staying power in our podcast this week, and This one doesn't have a whole lot of staying power, but also I think I think you really hurt it by taking away from Mad Max.
Yeah.
And if you were going to tell a Furiosa story, then it should have been Charlize Theron and continuing on, and maybe eventually she connects back up with Mad Max. I don't think I need the prequel. I didn't need the backstory. But our ratings for this, again, mine was lower. You gave it a 2.5, and I gave it a 2. I just wasn't too overly impressed with it.
Yeah. And the half or my rating is reflected, like I said, off other directors and other reviews I heard of this, such as, like I said, Spielberg was like, I don't know how you shot that. So if Spielberg being as amazing and great as, if he's kind of like, wow, you did something really cool, even if I didn't like it enough, I'm still going to give him the credit that, okay, well, you're a higher caliber in some things.
Yeah.
And like I said, visually, yeah.
I agree with you. That's solely where my 2 comes from. It's George Miller's direction was great. The visual effects, all that stuff, like the filmmaking in this was fantastic. It just isn't a great story.
No.
And it was too long, and it wasn't and edited weird. Like I feel like we didn't get enough of the war. I was like, if you're gonna have this long movie, give me more of the war. But whatever. Anyway, Mick's movie pick for this week comes from 1974, and that's right, it is Blazing Saddles. If you haven't checked,
where the white women at?
I absolutely love this movie. It is raunchy. It is highly comedic, and has a lot of very offensive jokes for its time, maybe even by today's standards, but they were all done in fun and in jest in such an amazing way. By Mel Brooks. It was written by Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor, and just really a terrific and fun movie. And we are going to be talking about it on tomorrow's classic film review from Snobs Film History, so you can go check out more about the movie. But if you haven't seen Blazing Saddles, go watch this film. Paul, tell them how you feel about this movie.
Oh, it's great. I mean, you get Gene Wilder. It's a comedy. I mean, it's Gene Wilder. That should sell it enough. Mel Brooks, if you've seen any of his movies, if you enjoy them, this is one you're absolutely going to enjoy as well. Yes, like you said, it is offensive, and you couldn't make this movie now. But for the time and how I think it's tasteful, it's still tasteful jokes. I do think, they go too far, like it couldn't be made now, but it's not over the top offensive where you're like, I feel uncomfortable or this is bad, because they did it in a way that was absolutely meant to be funny. And it was funny. It wasn't just nonsense or shock value of just saying something completely not okay, just to say it. I think they chose their verbiage and their dialogue very well. And it's hilarious from start to finish. You're giggling every other scene.
Oh yeah, and it turns all that offensiveness on its head. Like, okay, we can, it's stupid to feel this way or think this way, and so like, I absolutely love it. I think it's a genius movie. Go check it out. Go check out our classic film review tomorrow. It comes out. But it's that time. It is that time. We are going to say our goodnights, and we have a pretty late week after the con. Next week we'll probably be back talking about the con again and having some more fun with some more topics. But if you guys like the channel, you like what's going on, not just the podcasts, but all the shows that we put out, all the other events that we got going on, we really appreciate it if you come over and maybe join up on a Patreon, which now serves as our newsletter and our links to everything. So you can go check it out, get more news there, get blog written reviews, other podcasts that are exclusive to there, shows that are exclusive to there. But it all goes back into helping build the channel out and making it as best as I can. And we're just having a good time with it. So please join up on the Snob Nation and hang out with us. But I want to thank my co-host, Mr. Producer Paul. Paul, would you like to say anything before we get going, sir?
Hey, you guys, anyone that's watching from the con, thank you for liking and subscribing and listening to us. It was great meeting all of you. It was fun getting stumped by all of you. Just thank you for everyone that's just always around. It's nice seeing the smiles. It's nice seeing the comments. Thank you, Mick, for making it an awesome con. It was very enjoyable. Your panels were very clean. They were just nice and smooth. And until next time, you guys remember, keep watching, keep listening, and keep enjoying the magic of movies.
I love it. All right, yeah, guys. Thank you again to our sponsor, Skillshare. Go check them out in the link below, or any of our other affiliates. Whatever you're looking for, we probably have it down there. And thank you guys for all watching, supporting, and being a part of it. Like he said, that's what it's all about. We love movies, and we know you do too. So join up in the Snob Nation, hang out with us. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves because that's important. And until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan.
I'm co-host Paul.
And we will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.